She died but returned with a message that could change everything. What she saw beyond the veil of life is connected to our future. Watch until the end to find out how this affects each of us.
My name is Sarah. What I'm about to share sounds unbelievable, but I made a promise to myself to tell everything, even if no one believes me. This is the story of what I saw when I died. I lived a very ordinary life. Work, family, kids. In the morning, I would wake up, make breakfast, drop the kids off at school, and head to the office. It was a routine day with nothing out of the ordinary. I remember sitting at my desk going through emails when suddenly I felt a sharp pain in my chest. It was so intense, as if my heart was being torn apart. I tried to get up to call for someone, but everything became blurry. The last thing I heard was someone shouting for an ambulance. Then everything went black. When I opened my eyes, I wasn't in a hospital. I saw myself. My body was lying on the floor, surrounded by doctors desperately trying to save me. I could see their frantic efforts, hear the beeping monitors, but I felt nothing. No pain, no fear. Instead, there was a strange sense of lightness. It felt as though I had shed a heavy burden. My gaze fell on my husband. He stood in the corner of the room, his face buried in his hands. I had never seen him like that before. He was crying. It was a heartbreaking moment, but it felt so far away. I was no longer part of that world. Then I felt something pulling me upward gently, softly, but irresistibly. Everything around me faded into darkness, except for a light ahead. It called to me, beckoned me. I walked through the tunnel. The light was warm, soft like sunlight, but it didn't blind me. I didn't hear any sounds or voices, only a profound sense of peace. For the first time in my life, I felt at home. But it wasn't my home. It was a place beyond words, where time and space ceased to exist. When I stepped out of the tunnel, an infinite space opened before me. I didn't see ground, sky, or horizons. Everything around me glowed. I felt like I was in a world without pain, without suffering. Everything was perfect. And then in the center of that light, I saw a figure. It seemed to be made of the light itself. Its face was indistinct, but I knew who it was. It was Jesus. I can't explain how I knew. It was a knowledge that came from within, from the depths of my soul. He looked at me. His eyes, they were like an ocean, endless, deep, filled with love. But at the same time, there was sadness in them. I couldn't speak. I just stood there, unable to move. Then he raised his hand, and visions began to unfold around me. At first, I didn't understand what I was seeing. It was our world, Earth, people, but everything was different. People walked the streets without looking at one another. Their faces were empty, their hands tightly gripping devices they never let go of. They seemed alive, but at the same time dead. "This is the future," a voice said. It wasn't loud, but it resonated deep within me. He showed me people who had completely surrendered themselves to technology. I saw robots controlling machines, factories, entire cities. People had become dependent on them. Their lives were no longer their own. I saw a mother sitting alone in a room. Her children no longer came to her. They were lost in virtual reality, where everything seemed perfect. She called out to them, but they couldn't hear her. Her face was filled with pain. Then I saw a man on a stage. His face looked familiar, though I didn't know who he was. He spoke of great inventions, of artificial intelligence that could change the world. But in his eyes, I saw doubt. "We've created something greater than ourselves. Who will control it?" he asked. Jesus showed me even more. People were becoming part of the technology. Their minds merged with machines. They were losing themselves, their souls. Then I heard a name. "Elon Musk," Jesus said. His voice became stern, almost like a warning. "This man plays a key role in the future. His inventions can save humanity, but they can also destroy it. It all depends on his choices and on how you, the people, follow him. I saw Elon Musk. He was standing in front of a large audience, talking about how technology could change the world. But in his eyes, I saw something strange, doubt, anxiety. He, too, understood that he was on the brink of something great or terrible. The vision showed me two realities. In one, Elon used his innovations to connect people, to help them. Artificial intelligence cured diseases, created new opportunities. In the other, those same technologies became tools of control. People lost their free will, becoming machines. When I think of Jesus' words, they echo in my mind like a bell. You choose your future. Those words are the key to everything. We often blame others, governments, corporations, the wealthy. But the future depends on each of us. Technology is not evil. It's a mirror of our nature. If we use it with love, for help and creation, the world will become better. But if we follow greed, power, and thoughtless progress, we will lose ourselves. Every time I tell this story, I feel its weight. Some people listen with open mouths. Others laugh, dismissing it as imagination. But how can you explain something that goes beyond human understanding? I don't ask you to believe me, but I ask you to think. We live in a world that's developing too fast. We don't have time to realize where these technologies are taking us. Elon Musk is a symbol of this choice. His achievements are incredible, but he is not a god. He's a human like all of us, and he makes mistakes. But the mistakes we make today could cost us our humanity. I know I didn't come back just for myself. My life will never be the same. Now I live with this knowledge and ask myself every day, am I doing something to save this world? I'm sharing my story because I believe we still have time. We can choose a path that preserves our soul. But for that to happen, each of us needs to take a step. Elon Musk, technology, artificial intelligence, they are just tools. But we, the people, must remember, our power doesn't come from machines. Our power comes from love, compassion, and humanity. My message is simple. Don't lose yourself. The choice is ours. I don't know how this message will change your perspective on the world. I don't know if you'll hear me, but I believe that if even one of you thinks about it, that's enough to change the future.
What will you choose? Machines or people? Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think we can maintain humanity in a world of technology? Subscribe for more stories that make you think.